Hello, I'm Marianne, and today I'm going to be making my own ink brushes. I'm going to be using a couple of different techniques, but the coolest thing I'm going to be doing is using my own hair to create the brushes. So I've got a few strands of hair that have been cut from my head, and I've got some twigs that I found outside, some interesting shapes. And I've also made some just using a sharpener, so you got a very fine point. I'm going to show you that first because I guess that's not as weird as using your own hair. So here I've got a nice twig and I've got a pencil sharpener, and I guess you could also use a very fine blade, but a pencil sharpener is a little less dangerous, so I'm going to do that for you. So the idea is that you want to try and get a nice point. So you've got a really fine, so it's a little bit blunt still, and you can kind of work it, I don't know if you can see in there, so that you only are sharpening a little part of it. And then so I've got a little point here. I've also got some sandpaper, so I'm just going to flatten this side. Oops, this side. And trying to create a nice stable point on all sides. And maybe the top you kind of want to do really carefully. So, put these aside. There you've got a bit of a point. I've got some ink here. It's just Speedball Indian ink, but I've got a few different kind of inks you can try as well. And I'm just gonna dip that in my ink. It creates a pretty good line. Just kind of dipping it in so that you've got, I think I need a little bit more ink. So I'm going to get a nice, ooh. So if you're not happy with it, you can keep playing with it. Just maybe trying to get the type of point that you want. And then keep experimenting. Oh, that's nice. Oh, yeah. So that's a really easy way to create an ink pen with a twig, a sharpener, and a little bit of sandpaper. Sometimes scissors help as well to like kind of cut away the little bits. Now I'm gonna go for the hair. So, I've got a nice little twig here. Just gonna kind of cut away some of that yucky bit. And now you can use PVA glue. I've got some PVA glue here, and you just dip your twig in there and kind of form your hair around it. Here's one I did in PVA glue before, but it's still drying, so it takes quite a while to dry that. So I'm going to go for the quick and easy glue gun approach. Now with a glue gun, remember glue guns are really hot. This is a very low temperature one, so the chance of me burning myself is very low, but of course please use caution. The glue that comes out is very, very hot. So I'm just getting a little dab like that. And then get my hair, but you have to work really fast. And kind of plop it on there. And it's a bit of an experiment. Like every time you do this, I feel like I've got a different kind of brush. And I'm just gonna keep layering it on. Now you might notice that I'm touching the glue a little bit. That is very bad practice. You should really get another twig to do that. So I'm gonna get another twig to kind of press it down a little bit and smooth it out. So do you see how I've kind of wrapped the hair all around the twig? And now that it's a little bit drier, now it's just tacky and it's just warm, so I can touch it. But if you've got a hot temperature glue gun, you cannot do this. Okay, so make sure that you've got a low temperature gun. So now I'm creating kind of a seal. So I've created kind of a seal around my my brush, and now you can kind of start playing with it. I'm going to cut off a bit because I definitely don't need such a long brush. I'm just going to go for something like that, I think. Ta-da! And now I've got kind of like a bit of a fluff. Now with this brush that I made, I've kind of created a flat head, but you could create like a filbert brush. I think I might do that next. So this is like a flat head, but the key is to getting the hair tips really, really straight, so you don't get that kind of fanned approach, unless that's what you want. In this brush, I created like a really, really fine liner. So you can see, but it's a little shaggy, so I'm still trying to experiment with getting that right. I think I might need to cut the hairs a bit shorter to really get the approach that I want. And where's the other one? And this one is like kind of like a floofy point. So I think I'm going to experiment with trying to get that straight. So I tapered the hairs at the end to get a nice point, but again, still experimenting. So I think I'm going to try and create a filbert. So in order to create a filbert, I'll need to kind of press these hairs down. A filbert brush is a brush that's kind of, let me draw it with one of my pens, that tapers. So there's the brush like this, and then the hairs kind of go like that. So that's what I'm going to try and aim for. So to do that, I'm going to have to get a bit more glue at the end so I can flatten it out. Remember, the glue is hot, so now that it's dried a little bit, I can touch it, press it down. There's a lot of like hairs that went astray. I'm gonna start giving it a haircut. I think I went a little too high with the glue. Okay, so now it's a bit more flat and I can still keep sculpting it. Like that. Again, one more warning just for good measure. If you have a hot temperature gun, please do not touch the glue like I'm doing. Okay, and I'm just going to taper. that's a fun experiment. I think I need a bit more hair, to be honest. Maybe I'll layer a bit more hair in the back. So I'm really excited to be doing Inktober this October, where you do a drawing every day. And there's official prompts, but you can make your own prompts as well. Ooh. And I'm going to attempt to do all of the, I think it's 31 days of October with my own created tools and brushes. So I'm sure by the end of this month I might have some better tutorials of brush making. Now, the hairs are a bit fanned out, so I wonder if, like, the more I use it, the more it'll start forming its shape. There's a lot of hair everywhere. All right, moment of truth. Ooh. So yeah, it has a little bit of a fan on it, but maybe that's kind of nice. So, have some fun. One more thing I wanted to show you is you might see the sepia ink that I've been experimenting with. That's actually Japanese style soy sauce. And I thought it would be fun to experiment with making my own inks as well. So I'm just going to rinse my newly created brush. I'm just going to show you some of my soy sauce ink. And I'm going to try making ink from all sorts of things. So the soy sauce has a really lovely sepia color that I think will be quite nice in the ink drawings. Oh, this one, I just realized that this is the double tipped, so I can turn it around and use it as my sharp tip. So yeah, it does have a bit of a smell to it. So if you're not keen on soy sauce smell, I don't recommend this one. But you can see that it dries quite light, and you can layer over the top of each other, which is quite nice. So I experiment with some more inks along the way. Hope you enjoyed. See you later. Until next time.